BBC News.
Well, you saw him in that report. We can talk now to two of those former Lehman employees, Anil and Nikolay Storonsky. And worth saying right now, you both turned things round for yourselves because you're both rather successful as you are now. But I just wonder, what are your memories of 10 years ago and that moment where you must have thought, gosh, this is all coming around my ears?
Well, I was very young when I started in the bank, age 22, so it was my first experience of work. And there were lots of very smart people, but the environment was very stressful and there was a lot of things that were happening and we didn't know exactly how bad the situation was. But you know, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that the whole bank would go into administration.
There wasn't a lot of sympathy for you all at the time, was there? I mean, the bankers themselves were seen as those behind their own downfall, if you like.
Yes, but at the end of the day, we were very junior employees. We were just doing a job. We weren't taking any of the big decisions at the top of the bank. So I think it's probably a bit unfair to blame the junior staff.
And Nikolay, in terms of what was going on 10 years ago, how did it feel when you realized this was all toppling around you?
To be honest, I was young and stupid, right? I started like in 2006 or 2007 in Lehman, so I was only 1 year in the job. For me, I didn't really understand it all, like, you know, the significance of happening, right? And I was lucky as well, so when Lehman went bust, the whole team was bought out by Nomura, so I never kind of experienced any kind of, you know, bad.
So I mean, it was okay for you. You'd come from Russia to join Lehman Brothers here in the UK, and you were able to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
And what are the lessons, do you think, that, first of all, the financial industry has learned from that period?
Well, you really need to have risk controls, right? I remember back early days, a lot of traders were allowed to mark their books, not in line with the market, but based on the models and based with their feelings, which is a wrong approach. So.
And Anil, what about you personally? What did you learn from this period?
Well, I think what I felt was that the big banks lost touch of who their customers were, who they were serving. They got involved in trades and asset classes that ultimately no one really understood how risky they were. So, you know, for me, I took away that you have to stay close to your customer and you've got to build a good culture and culture of transparency and really try and remember that the mission is to help whoever you're serving, whether that's small businesses or individuals.
And that's a lesson you learned at the time, and it has served you well since.
Yes, we started MarketInvoice, myself and my co-founders, to help small businesses raise finance. We help them with invoice finance. If they're waiting to be paid on an invoice, they can borrow against it. And I ask everyone in the company, no matter what role, to go and spend time with our customers and actually see the real-life impact of what they're doing, because we want to help the real economy, these businesses around the country that account for 60% of employment in the UK.
Nikolay, a lot of people watching you two saying, well, good for you, you've come out of a very difficult period, a difficult period for the business. A lot of them are going to say, could it happen again? Is there still that hubris, that belief that people still think bankers have, that they're untouchable?
Well, I think, my personal opinion, it can't happen again. It's just because there is a lot of new regulation in place which like, you know, protects people from this happening. So banks are not allowed to make big bets with their capital anymore. So that's a good thing. So financial system is, you know, much more stable, and it's much less profitable as well. So,
is he right?
I guess the exact same crisis low chance of it happening again, but there could be, you know, other triggers, whether that be political or macro. You know, in the next year or so, people are a little bit worried, and when I speak to small business owners, they do worry a little bit about the coming 18 months.
But anything of that scale?
Well, you never can say never, but probably less likely than before.
Okay, well, it's great to talk to you both, Anil and Nikolay. Thank you both for coming in. Thanks.
Thank you.